Okay, so welcome everybody, and thank you for joining our session today. Lights, camera, act on, see us in action. My name is Kelsey, and I will be your host and moderator for the day. And I'm so excited to show you what we have in store. Today, you're going to be getting a live look at just some of what Act On can do for your marketing automation. And it's really going to help you see amazing results. So I hope you really enjoy what we have to share. But before we get started, I do want to cover a couple of housekeeping things for you guys real quick. So this webinar will be recorded. We will be sending out the on-demand version within a couple of business days. Please feel free to share it with your team and colleagues. We hope that you find it valuable and we want you to share it out. There is a chat feature, but we would like you to put your questions in the Q&A box. If you do have them, you can use the chat feature to talk amongst yourselves. We'll be happy to join in as well. But if you have any questions, please, again, use that Q&A so we can keep those separate and get all your questions answered. There will be a brief survey at the end of this as well. We want you guys to get the most out of your experience with us and get all of your questions answered about Act On. So your feedback is super valuable into making these sessions the most impactful they can be. But with that, you guys are in for a treat. We have two of our product and automation experts here today to walk you through the platform and everything that Act On can do. We have Bob Garcia, Director of Product Marketing, and Andy Porter, Senior Director of Solution Consultants. You guys are in great hands. And without further ado, Bob, take it away.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. Today, we're going to be diving into, how Act On as a marketing automation platform is able to provide our customers with a tremendous amount of value across their digital marketing efforts. So before we get started, I'd like to do a little bit of an overview of like the value of marketing automation, just to set the table on that. And then I'll hand it off to Andy, who will walk you through a product demonstration to validate those capabilities, and then close with why we feel that Act On is uniquely positioned to be the best solution for you to go with for your marketing automation capabilities. So let's jump in. Once again, let's take a step back in terms of, positioning the value and why a lot of companies move to using marketing automation. It's really about driving more efficiency, driving more scale, driving more revenue in the end. I mean, really, it's really about making more money, being more efficient in your application of resources, showing up in the market better to better, deliver customer experiences that are personalized and timely. And then really just improving, the alignment between your sales and marketing organizations. Too often, marketing is siloed, sales is siloed. There's tension between the two. Sales feels that marketing is not passing over great leads. Marketing is frustrating that they're doing all this work to, build brand, build awareness, create interest, hand over quality leads, and then sales is not taking action. So really the goal of a marketing automation platform like Act On is to really provide marketing with the tools, the capabilities, the data, the insights to really personalize and move leads along the customer lifecycle continuum, and then handing those quality leads off to sales for direct engagement and moving them through the sales process. So in terms of capabilities that Act On as a marketing automation provides, fundamentally, we put our tag on a site, we understand behaviors, and those behaviors are added to customer data. So you're not only leveraging data about your customers that you're captured in your CRM, but we're enriching that with the behaviors of those users on your site. Did they download a white paper? Did they take a particular action? How do you combine that insight with the insights from your CRM in terms of firmographics to really deliver a customized, considered campaign to segment those users, put them in the right buckets, and move them through the sales process. So, wash, rinse, repeat, through reporting, through testing, through optimization, through understanding, through, evolving your lead scoring, through leveraging technology to improve your segmentation and pass, a cold prospect who's getting warm into a hot prospect. over to your sales folks. It's really about automating those processes and really taking advantage of technology to drive efficiency. In terms of the application of marketing automation, a lot of folks, a lot of prospects come at us with, needs around lead gen, demand gen, or sometimes, customer onboarding, and they're really narrowly focused on just one aspect of the customer lifecycle. Here at Acton, we see our most successful customers actually applying marketing automation to solve a variety of different jobs, a lot of different purposes, along the customer continuum. And those things can span from, capturing a lead, like who is this user? So as soon as you move somebody from being unknown to known, capturing their email address, you're able to start to personalize experiences as you build more first-party data about those prospects. And then, in terms of getting customers, driving them through a nurture series, trying to further educate them, create that awareness, create that preference to move them into being a hand raiser, to want to learn more about your product, want to engage with your sales team. And then once you do convert those leads to customers, you want to drive usage, onboarding, engagement, and reactivation of your product or service so that they are loyal customers and happy customers using your product or service. And that requires ongoing customer engagement that can and should be automated through a marketing automation platform. And lastly, growing your share of wallet with your prospects and customers, through cross sells, through, getting a better understanding of what makes them happy, where they're frustrated, and really trying to automate, your marketing to scale your organization. And in the end, that's going to drive more revenue, happier customers, and really serve your bottom line. So with that, let me hand it over to Andy, who's going to walk you through the product, give you a tour of some functionality, then we'll close out on why we think Acton is uniquely positioned to help you.
Awesome. Thanks, Bob. I will go ahead and share out my screen, and I am going to turn off my camera in a moment here, but I wanted to give you guys another chance to see the face that goes with the voice, and hopefully you're seeing my Acton screen at this point. I will go ahead and kill the camera so you don't have to see me looking over at the side the whole time. This is not my good side, I guess. All right, and what we're going to do today is really go through a lot of those points that Bob mentioned as far as the point of marketing automation and how Acton accomplishes those. So what you're seeing right now is the main Acton dashboard, and as we get into that first layer of knowledge, it starts with the anonymous site tracking and the tracking of behavior. So we do have a website prospector that allows us to find companies that are coming to the website, and then as people either click through emails or fill out forms, we start to build out this very in-depth profile of each individual contact to the point where we can see the details of the emails, the web pages, search terms, social media, SMS, even custom events, which would be things that maybe happen outside of your marketing automation purview that you still want to incorporate into the profile of an individual. And all of this will be, you'll get the specifics of the details into a timeline of events for each individual user. And this, from a marketing perspective, is available for you to understand what sort of activities are contributing to the effectiveness of a contact. You can also score the individual on multiple criteria. And we also have a new feature called AI Predictive Score that will show the likelihood to convert of a particular contact. So this is going to take into account the actual deals and opportunities that you have coming over from CRM and predict, based on the behaviors, based on the profile of the individual, is this someone who's likely to convert into revenue for you? Now, obviously, as a marketer, this information, you're probably not going to go into every penny scot of the world, but it's worth noting that this same information gets passed over into CRM for the sales users to have at their fingertips as they're working through their audience. So as you can see, this is my record for Acton. I've got a lot of activity that I've gone through. And so because I've got so much activity, I have a pretty high predictive score. Now, we know that because I work for Acton, they're probably not going to send a sales rep to my door to try to get me to buy some Acton. But this gives you a good idea of the predictive score in action based on the activities of an actual user. And I would say I probably had enough activities to make this worthwhile. Now, beyond the activity tracking that we have, obviously you want to bring in your details, your data from other sources. And that could be from CRM, that could be from ERP solutions. We can tie that data together to where you can start to build out very targeted audiences that you want to work from. Even creating tags for the different types of audiences that you want to look at. So if I want to look at my hot leads tag, and maybe I want to create a new segment and tag it, I can start to leverage all of the different criteria that I have on individuals from their profile conditions. So maybe I want to look at the industry and look at anyone whose industry is in financial services. So I'm going to look for finance, and I'm just going to list financial, insurance, and banking. So this will give me an option to have that sort of criteria on the individual here, but then I can also tie in those behavioral criteria. So maybe in the last 30 days, somebody who went to a particular web page, and I want to look at somebody who went to this particular section of the site. In this case, I'm going to look at anyone who looked at our product pages, just any of our product pages at this point, which all have the product in the URL. And then maybe I want to tie in additional information like CRM data. So what does the account rating look like, or what is the revenue for the account? We're looking for something that is greater than 50 million. So we can enter that in, and we can also tie in data from the opportunity. So you can see how you can get very granular about when your deals are closing, what sort of audience you want to look at. In this case, I want to look at somebody who's actually going to close before the next 30 days. And so I'm going to go ahead and look at 30 days ahead. And so now we've got a very targeted audience that we want to leverage of financial companies who have interacted with our product pages, have the right profile of the revenue, and have opportunities that are due to close in the next 30 days. And I could actually then save this as a current month financial segment. And so if I wanted to build this out again, I can actually use those query templates and change the criteria here very easily to go back to that current month financial segment, making it very easy to replicate and build out the content that we're using on a regular basis. Now, moving forward, you want to use all of this information in building out the messaging that you'd be using. So first and foremost, we want to make sure that we are actually building out messaging that's relevant to the audience that we're working with. And so we want to take all of that information and use that to personalize the message itself. And so as you can see here, we've got a lot of personalization tokens in the actual message for images, for sections, for buttons. And this allows us to have a very personalized experience for each user that is receiving the message. So John is going to get details for middle schools with a coffee cup image here from that dynamic content block, and an actual paragraph that's focused on him. Whereas Sarah's going to get details for elementary school, and that's going to have the Golden Gate Bridge in the background, different content for elementary school children, details about Sarah and her institution itself. And then Morgan is working with independent learners, so she's going to get details with the hands-in logo, the details for independent learners, and we're really personalizing that content at scale. So you're not creating all of these different variations and sending them separately. You're leveraging the information that we know to make sure that the content or specific sections of the content is as resonant as possible. Now, that personalization also extends to how we are actually sending out the message. because obviously we can do a scheduled send or send immediately. We can use the recipient's time zone, so you don't have to find that magic hour on a Tuesday that's going to work for West Coast and East Coast. You don't have to necessarily throttle, but we do have this adaptive send feature, which is one of my favorite options for that personalization, especially when it comes to engagement, which is the name of the game when it comes to deliverability. And so what adaptive send will do for you is take all of the behaviors that we have on an individual beyond just the opens and clicks and identify when they're most engaged with the brand. And what we've seen with customers using this is about a 30% increase in the click-through rates for the messages that they're sending out using adaptive send. So it can have this huge positive impact on your engagement rates and start that snowball for your deliverability moving down the correct side of the hill for you. Now, another concern that a lot of our customers have when it comes up to email is actually being able to generate content. A lot of times you don't have the time to create the content, the know-how on the team. And so one of the things that we've recently released here is the option to have generative AI content within the message itself. So I can come in here, choose the type of message that I want to use. I'm going to go ahead and say this is a paragraph. This is going to be a new customer welcome. I want this to be helpful. We'll change this to act on as the company. We'll use the act on URL here. And as far as the email summary that we're using, we're going to go ahead and just say new customer onboarding automation. And hit create content. And this will take a moment to generate the content for us, but this will give us some content that we can automatically insert into the message itself. And so you also have the option to choose, hey, I want a subject line in this. I want to use have a different length for the message here. And then you can see we've got a paragraph now that's just been generated for welcome to Act On. We're thrilled to have you join. It has details of the message itself and other criteria. Again, if I wanted to change this to use the entire email here, and let's say I wanted to change this as the length and say this is forms, new forms, interface here, I can go ahead and do that, hit try again, and this will generate new content for me. So as you can see, this is one of those things that rather than trying to make sure that you have the grammar correct and getting all of the things correctly, all of the proofreading, obviously you will want to read through the message, but this gives you an option to generate content without needing to necessarily be an English major like I am. So I love all you English majors out there, but this gives you a very quick way of doing this where you're not overanalyzing your own language. You can read through someone else's language, which sometimes is easier to proofread and make adjustments on, and have a very easy message to work through. Now, obviously, the AI content is great and it's good to have on a single message, but you also want to be able to automate the messages that you have, and that's the whole point of automation, is to be able to take all of this criteria and make sure that you are not only doing personalization at scale, but personalized journeys at scale. So incorporating how people are engaging. So in this case, we have a top of funnel program that we're looking at where we're sending out an email, and you can see we've got some conditional messages for different audiences that can have personalization within the message itself. And as people are engaging or not engaging, we're moving them into different paths. Now, the branching here can happen based on opens and clicks of messages, or this could be looking at the if prospect is in or if prospect is not in criteria here, which will allow you to reach into any segment that you've created to create a very targeted group that you want to move beyond just that opens and clicks. So this could be information that's coming over from an e-commerce platform, from the CRM, from an ERP, from usage data of a platform that you offer, subscription information, and move that people into different groups based on where they are in their life cycle. So you're targeting them with messaging at a relevant time period with relevant content within the message itself. Now, some of the steps that are worth noting here is obviously you have the send messaging steps at the top here, which will allow you to send email or SMS if that's a channel that you wish to subscribe to. We have SMS built into the platform directly. Your wait periods, which allow you to wait for a specific period of time, specific date or time, or until somebody meets a particular condition that you're looking for. So maybe you want to wait until they're a qualified lead, and then you're going to do some additional triggering. You can leverage this wait until somebody's in your, say, your hot prospects list here. And so we'll go with the bottom of the funnel group that we wanted to leverage. The additional elements that we have within the program are abilities to maintain the record itself, to actually alert internal audiences or connect to external systems like via API or connecting to the CRM. So with our CRM connection, we can actually create new records, or we can update or add tasks into a salesperson's queue so they can follow up on the records that are coming in, including the sales team as part of the process for marketing. So in addition to nurturing leads, acquiring leads, getting your acquisition and conversion down, you're also supporting the sales process to increase their likelihood of conversion, so things are not falling through the cracks. Now, finally, as we look through all of this stuff, this is all great. There's a lot that you can do here, but it only is as good as the measurements that you can have on the actual content. So if you're not measuring anything, you're not going to be able to iterate or improve things because you don't know what to improve. So with every piece of content that you have, every automation, there is going to be a full report that will show you how people are engaging within the program itself. In this case, you can also look at the steps where people are actually exiting out and how they're exiting out. So from the program performance, we can see the early exits and see, are they exiting out for a good reason or a bad reason? In this case, we only have the sales ready qualification here, which is always a good reason for somebody to exit out. And we can look at where they're actually hitting that exit. So it's after this A5 step where we've sent our second or third message. So is there something in this email that's resonating better with this audience? Should we move that up, or should we incorporate some of the criteria from this into earlier messages? And then, of course, we can look at specific messages within the program itself to understand how engaged people are with the specific messages. In this case, we can see the details of the message report of how many messages were sent, how many bounced, what your open rate, your click to open rate happened to be, what you can drill into details to see who are the records that actually bounced on the message itself. You can drill in to see what are the actual click-throughs that are working, and you can also get an analysis of the device and client that people are using. So if you find that more of our audience is using mobile devices to read the messages than the PC or the desktop experience, maybe we want to put a mobile first version as our priority moving forward. Now, of course, this sort of analysis will also extend to overall reporting, which will start with the revenue attribution report, which looks at the individual content that you have to identify what's actually driving revenue from a web page, from an email perspective, based on the contacts that are associated with accounts that are closing as closed won opportunities. So you can see attributed revenue here. You can see the multi-touch attribution where you weight different activities as more or less valuable, which will allow you to see different priorities based on what makes the most sense for your audience. But again, this gives you an idea of what content is actually working, what content's actually resonating. So as you're building out content, is it successful? Are we using the things that are currently working with our audience? And is there content that is resonating with the audience that we're not promoting that we should promote in future activities? Then the revenue impact report is just taking a zoom out of this. And in my demo account, this will probably spin for a while, but this is going to look at the all of the details of your opportunities to show what your industries are, what are your segments that are working best, and what campaigns are actually generating new leads for the time frame that you have selected. So this is another way to get additional information. And then zooming out one layer further is the funnel report, which is going to look at your overall customer life cycle. And you can define these stages however you'd like, but this will look at the volume of individuals in each of these different stages and the velocity with which they're moving through the stages. So you can see something like this: anonymous visitors converted to known visitors, pretty good conversion rate or speed as far as those individuals moving through, the volumes moving up. But as we look at this converted to known visitors to new leads, 8.1 days was a long time for contacts to convert from that known visitor to new lead activity. So this helps you with your marketing reporting to tell the narrative of what's happening within your programs, within your tactics, without needing to bring a report for every single tactic to the table when you have to report up to the board or to the sales team or to the executive team. This will allow you to say something like, hey, we saw this problem with the converted to known visitors into new leads. 8.1 days was just way too long. So what we did this quarter was we actually implemented a notification process to our sales development team, where they received a notification as soon as somebody became a known visitor. They reached out and tried to qualify that as a new lead. One day after that person became a known visitor, we had an email personalized to the individual based on the content or the form that they filled out to actually try to drive additional engagement. And then 2 days after that, there was a task set in CRM for the sales owner of the record to reach out and qualify that lead. And we were able to cut down that time frame from 8.1 days to 3.2 days for roughly the same converting audience. So it had a huge impact on the velocity in this stage, while still seeing an increase in the overall contacts in this new leads stage. And moving forward, maybe we have an issue with this new leads to open opportunities, and then you can start to talk about your tactics and plans for the next quarter. So this is a really helpful visual to help you to articulate how you're actually making an impact from a marketing perspective to other audiences, or even internally to the marketing team, and also how you're planning to address problems, what levers or toggles that you can use from a macro level that will help out. So with that being said, we will go ahead and stop the demo portion of this, and I'm going to kick it back over to Bob to talk a little bit about some additional slides here.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Andy, for that fantastic tour of the product. Let me get back into sharing my screen here. There we go. Wow, Zoom is actually working fully today. That's awesome. So thanks for the demo. We have a very feature-rich product. Andy only really showed a subset of our capabilities. There's a whole host of other things we support in the product that we just don't have time today to go through in great detail. But rest assured that Act-On as a solution provides you with all of the marketing automation capabilities that you need. And a huge emphasis of our product and product development since the origins of the company has been really about making the product simple and powerful. We found that a lot of the original marketing automation solutions really made things complicated and really served, big, complex, sophisticated teams who had lots and lots of dedicated resources to marketing automation. And since the origin of our company, we were really focused on democratizing access to marketing automation. And that's really been something that we focus on day in and day out, is to further simplify the process to lead to, delivering maximum value and efficiency for our customers. We know a lot of you out there are challenged with finding and retaining talent in marketing, and really, trying to democratize access to marketing automation so a broader set of users within your organization can, create value, manage campaigns, and leverage all that great functionality that Andy walked you through. Another thing that we are, leaning in on, as Andy previewed, with our Act-On artificial intelligence create capability, is the ability to use generative content natively in the application. And we've got some other things coming around predictive scoring and audience segmentation that'll be coming in the next few weeks. What's really exciting about this is taking that simple but powerful and really putting more, value in your hands natively in the product. So a lot of competitors of ours have a multi-product, suite approach to providing value. And we really see the world differently for our customers. We see, the value of things being integrated into the marketing automation platform, not needing to get a bunch of additional products, which really creates a lot of bloatware and complexity to your business. And one of the things that we focus on, since the only thing we live, breathe, and eat every day is marketing automation, is to provide you all with the best service and support. We know a lot of times you're going to run into questions, you may hit a wall, you may not know how to do something. We have a team of dedicated folks who are here, only focused on Act-On, only focused on marketing automation, and they've consistently gotten the best accolades in the industry, through services like G2 and others, just around the quality of our service. And we do work with a huge range of customers, across manufacturing, software, business services, technology, and other, financial services, insurance, banking. So we work with a huge range of customers. We've got a lot of domain expertise. We've been around for a long time. We're actually one of the original marketing automation vendors. We were founded in 2008 with a vision to democratize marketing automation. And today we are the only pure play, marketing automation vendor out there who isn't trying to cross-sell you on other products and really is focused purely on the mission of marketing automation, is because we integrate fantastically well with, leading CRMs. We've got flexible data models to pull data from, proprietary data stores, niche CRMs, et cetera. We've got a great team to help you achieve fast time to value and the lowest total cost of ownership in the industry. In terms of how we, support our clients, we assign customer success managers or customer success manager function to each and every one of our accounts. We've got account managers, we've got a really robust technical support group, and we've got fantastic online documentation. So with that, let me just let's move to questions, see what other questions you all have, and please do reach out to us if you're looking to get a deeper tour of the product, see how we can solve your specific needs and or questions.